Ever been called a gringo while traveling through Latin America? Wonder why it's specifically used for Americans? Let's dive into the world of intercultural encounters and unravel the identity of the so-called gringo. This term, primarily used in Latin America, refers to Americans who are either residing in or passing through these countries. Intriguingly, the origins of the term gringo are shrouded in mystery. Some say it evolved from the Spanish word griego, meaning Greek, a term once used to label anyone speaking an unfamiliar language. Over the course of time, it gradually came to represent Americans, marked by their distinctive language and customs. In Latin America, gringos often find themselves viewed as outsiders, their identity tied to their American nationality. As they navigate through unfamiliar terrains and cultures, gringos frequently stumble upon stereotypes and preconceived notions, both positive and negative, associated with American culture, lifestyle and behaviors. You might be thinking of the stereotypes right now, the loud, overly friendly American perhaps, or the consumerist, ignorant of local customs. While these generalizations may ring true for some, they are far from universally applicable. Each gringo is a unique individual, not defined solely by their nationality or the stereotypes associated with it. Gringos, like anyone else, bring their personal experiences, values and perspectives to the table. They are not just Americans in Latin America. They are individuals, each with their unique story, navigating through the complexities of a foreign land. So, when you hear the term gringo, remember it's a label that carries a rich tapestry of meanings. It speaks of an American identity in a Latin American context, but it also encompasses individual experiences and personal narratives. So, being a gringo is intrinsically about being American in Latin America, but it's only part of the story. Let's continue to explore these identities and how they shape our understanding of foreignness in the following scenes. Now, let's switch gears and look at the term foreigner. It's a much broader concept, isn't it? Unlike gringo, which is primarily associated with Americans in Latin America, foreigner is a term that can apply to anyone who isn't native to a particular region or nation. It's an umbrella term, encompassing individuals from a myriad of backgrounds and nationalities. Think of it as a kaleidoscope of identities, each one unique and distinct, yet all unified under the label of foreigner. And just as a kaleidoscope is ever-changing, so is the identity of a foreigner. It doesn't remain fixed to a specific nationality, but evolves and adapts to the diverse environments they find themselves in. And here's a fascinating thing about foreigners. They don't just exist in a place, they contribute to it. They bring with them their unique cultural heritage, their personal background, their individual stories. Whether it's through food, language, music or art, they enrich their new surroundings with a cultural diversity that is both refreshing and invigorating. But it's important to remember that being a foreigner isn't about being an outsider. It's about being part of a global community, a vibrant tapestry of different cultures and experiences. It's about bridging gaps, breaking barriers and fostering understanding. So being a foreigner isn't about where you're from, but rather about being not local to the place you're in. With a clear understanding of gringos and foreigners, let's delve into their key differences. Firstly, we have nationality versus global identity. Gringos represent a specific nationality. They are Americans in Latin America. Their identity is closely tied to their American nationality. On the flip side, foreigners represent a more global identity. They could be from anywhere, from any nation, and their identity is tied more to their unique personal backgrounds. Next, we have perceptions and stereotypes. Gringos often face stereotypes connected to American culture, such as consumerism, loudness, and a lack of knowledge about local customs. Foreigners, however, encounter stereotypes that are less about their nationality and more about their role as tourists, expats, or students. Moving on to cultural influence, gringos may have a more significant impact on the local culture, and they often face expectations to adapt and integrate. Foreigners, in contrast, bring a rich cultural diversity to their new surroundings without the same level of pressure to assimilate. When it comes to community and inclusion, gringos often form communities with fellow Americans, seeking a sense of familiarity. Foreigners, however, create diverse networks that bring together people from a range of nationalities, fostering multicultural exchanges. Lastly, in terms of language and communication, Gringos, due to their American identity, often have an advantage if they speak English. Foreigners, coming from various nations, have varying degrees of language proficiency, and language is less central to their identity. So, while both Gringos and foreigners navigate unfamiliar environments, their experiences and identities are shaped by unique factors, painting a complex picture of global intercultural encounters.